Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to a brand new video. Actually one of my first vlog-like videos of the year. I'm pretty excited. Today I'm going to talk about how I made my track Lucid Dreams. If you haven't heard the track, I'm going to play it in a little bit while I open the project and stuff. Before going into that, I want to talk a little bit about what came up to my mind when making the track and what I wanted people to feel when listening to it. Like, what was the purpose behind the track, not just the technical aspects behind it, because I feel like whenever you go into YouTube, the only thing that you find is technical aspects, stuff that you can find on Google. But I want to make this a channel that teaches you stuff that you cannot find anywhere else. I want to kind of teach you guys stuff that not just make you better at music, but can help you deal with life and I don't know, just improve your life a little bit better in any sorts. Oh fuck, someone's calling me right now. I don't know who the hell that was. Anyways, this actually been the first day I woke up feeling like, you know what, I'm gonna make the video no matter what, and stuff like this happens. I try to make the video and then someone calls me, or I try to make the video and then I record something that looks very bad. But I am no longer trying to reach perfection with my videos, and that was holding me back. So I'm gonna be posting a ton of stuff, a ton. I don't care if this looks like trash, if the background is not good, I don't care if there's no bokeh. I'm gonna be really active on YouTube now because I really like recording. I really like recording videos, and it really makes me feel happy. If I can inspire one person, if I can teach one person something, I'm happy with it. So yeah, before going into the project, like I've said, I'm gonna talk about what happened to the track Lucid Dreams. So this is a very funny story. This track was literally made during a lucid dream. And I know it sounds crazy. If you know what a lucid dream is, it's basically when you have consciousness, when you're dreaming and then you gain consciousness out of nowhere, when you're just lucid in a dream, as the name says, lucid dream. And I had this melody going into my head. I was at the moment a little bit heartbroken, so I needed, I guess my subconscious mind was giving me this melody to, in a way, make something that would make me feel a little bit of hope, a little bit of empowerment, a little bit of some kind of good energy, some kind of good vibes in general. And I feel that was the reason I got that melody, and I listened to it and it just makes me feel happy. It eliminates any negative thoughts for me automatically. It kind of feels adventurous as well, so it's very good. It kind of opens me up into doing different stuff, like getting out of my routine and stuff like that. And I feel like now that's the reason why I released it, because it's now helping you guys in a way, maybe subconsciously, maybe consciously, maybe you know that you're being helped, maybe you don't. But yeah, the reason why I did this track was to inspire others, to give others hope. But yeah, this is from deep down my heart. I really make music to heal and help others and inspire others. And yeah, this is one of those tracks that I feel is a little bit more special than often, just because I didn't make it in a like, I didn't just go there and sit and just out of nowhere made something. It's just something that I had to do in a way. It's really weird, but yeah, I'm gonna be making the next video. Actually, is gonna be a video about how to have your own lucid dreams and what it is and what they are, I mean. And I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna love this. Actually, quick story. Beethoven used to make music on lucid dreams as well, so, or I don't know if it was Mozart. I guess I'm pretty sure both of them actually did it. And I've read some stories about Leonardo da Vinci actually creating stuff on lucid dreams and then waking up and actually doing it in real life, if this is what real is. But yeah, this is the fresh start of my new channel, and it's gonna talk about this kind of stuff. So I'm gonna talk about music, and I'm gonna talk about spiritual stuff and like real life stuff, and like whatever comes to my mind, whatever comes in another lucid dream, I'll talk about that. So before we go into the video, I just want to say that this video is sponsored by iMusic. This is the best iTunes alternative, so it helps you with one click transfer and manage your music files from your iPad, your iPhone, your iPod to your iTunes library without creating duplicates. with this software, you can also transfer music between Android phones and iTunes. You can back up and rebuild your iTunes library. You can fix your entire iTunes library, and it's basically just a powerful toolbox. So if you're interested about this software, click the link in the description. It's the first link in the description. So yeah, let's go right into the PC. Alright, so we're now on my PC, and I've put my AirPilot headphones on. They're pretty big, but I love them. If you guys want me to show you my studio, I'm pretty in my equipment, which I don't really have that much, but I can definitely do a video for you guys if you guys are looking for one of these kind of videos, like showing my setup and stuff like that. Anyways, so we're now inside the project, and as I've said before, the main idea was the melody. That was how this project started, and it sounds like this. Just a pluck, basic melody. That's pretty much it. And it's basically a very adventurous, energetic, happy kind of melody. So for that, I had to do chords, and I made this chords which I had to render out because I felt like my computer was dying. I actually didn't feel my computer was actually in pain, and they sound like this. I wrote them below the melody. They sound like this. I'm actually using a layer, so like that. In order to do this layer kind of thing, just open layer and then shift, select the two children that you want, because that's how they're called in layering. Then you set children. As soon as you set your children, now you can control all of them. And this is how the melody sounds like. In this case, I started with the melody, but I always start with the chords. Together they sound like this. I don't know, I felt like that sounded good together. So at the end of the day, since this thing's serum, whenever you're using a serum that has more than 6 voices or something like that, your computer starts to die, just like this when it has 8. And if you have 20 freaking different serums, your computer is gonna die. So what I did was just render. With this new version of FL Studio, what you can do is right click and then consolidate this track. I always just click any of these. If you just want this part, you just click track start. If you want everything on the song, just click song start. And then I went to the bass line, and this is the sub actually. I always use the lowest melody of the chords, so that's a melody, and I knew that the bass line should sound like that. This is how the bass line sounds, a sub bass actually. So this is how it sounds once I cut all the parts from the chords. So what makes Future Bounce very interesting is that you can play around with sliding up and down. That makes it more groovy, more bouncy, as the name suggests. There's not really a way of doing it. It's about just trial and error. It needs to slide, it needs to move, it needs to be flowing. That's the idea behind Future Bounce. So this one, if it was just a plain melody, it would sound like this. And that's super boring compared to this. It even sounds like it talks once you add other sounds. And on top of this sub bass, I added a brass sound from Contact. Sounds like this. And it's just a layer to add air. Without any of the effects, it sounds like this. And then with the effects, so it's basically just distort it a little bit, and with EQ. Yeah, another thing that I did is making this a little bit wider. So with this stereo separation knob, you can make it wider or mono mono or more stereo, whatever you want to do, if you want to merge it or make it wider. So the next layer was all the bass lines. If you listen to my music, you know that I'm crazy for bass lines. Well, actually, this is how they sound. And it actually sounds like they talk-ish. Without effects, it sounds like this. For the other one, the more stronger one, sounds like this without any effects. That sounds like shit without any effects. Well, as soon as I add the effects, and then I add another effects because they're actually on a group. Sounds like this. Without it, with it. What this does is just basically cut some highs and cut some lows. What I did on this bass lines is EQ. I remove all the sub. You do not need sub if you already have a sub. A lot of people tend to add like 20 different subs. I think it's dumb. Just make the best out of the sub that you have. You don't need that many. I cut some of the highs as well. I distorted it. I added my secret thing, which I made on Apex first. And then my Magic Stereo, which is just a basic plugin to control the stereo image. And I use the bass preset 1 all the way up because I like how it sounds. And then I added a Sausage Master, but only to clip it, to keep it below 0 decibels. Then I added another parametric to remove more lows, and another clipper just to keep it on 0 decibels. For the other sound, for this other bass line, this is how it sounds. It has almost the same things. What I basically do is just add more harmonics, which is what we want. More harmonics means fuller. I remove the lows. I remove more of the lows, and I remove some frequencies over here that I felt were kind of bothering me. And then I made my bass, my secret effect slot. And then I added a magic maker. Single maker, I mean, what the hell? But yeah, magic maker. That's how you would say it actually, because they're making magic, and I'm not sponsored. So this one has the bass 2 preset all the way up, and then I used inflator, Oxford inflator. This is basically a dynamic compressor kind of thing, upwards compressor. Shout out to Kovan. He recommended me this plugin, and it's fucking amazing. And I'm also using a sausage fatter to keep it below 0 decibels, but I also added fatness and color, which is weird. I never do this, but this sounds good, and that's all it matters. It doesn't matter if you're using whatever. If it sounds good, sounds good. If you're using Soundgoodizer, whatever you're using, if you really think it sounds good, do it. And then we head to the next part, one of the most important ones, the layering of the plugs. They sound like this. So I think there are about 10 of them or something like that. I'm actually gonna see. Yeah, they're all they're actually all BPS Avenger. I'm not gonna open it because it really eats my PC. But one of the sounds sound like that. They're all in a group because I can control it easier. Without effects, it sounds like this. So very basic, and then with effects, it's distorted as fuck. And I like that. I like to really distort it. I like to really distort sounds. For that, I'm using a EQ, cut the lows, like always cut the lows, except for kicks and sub bass. And then I added a Saturn, just to add some distortion over here and some distortion to lows and everywhere. I just like it. And then OTT to distort it even more and compress it even more. And then I got more rid of the lows. Stereo, so I magic stereo. It's magic. I always use it. parametric EQ, and then I got rid of some of the lows. Alright, I got a new light. So as I was saying, I got more rid of the lows, and I added some extra. I boosted a little bit around 719 hertz, and I boosted a little bit on the highest because I felt like it kind of needed some extra. Next sound was this other BPS Avenger. The typical hexagon sound without any effects, sounds like this. With effects, sounds like that. Basically just EQ to get rid of the lows. Now we got the 20. Now we got the other one, the other sound. It sounds like this, one of the main ones actually. Without any effects, sounds like this. With effects, sounds like that. It's just basically EQ. I got rid of the lows. And then in another one, I don't know why I do it in another one honestly, but I boosted some of the mids and trebles. And then the sausage fattener to add some color and keep it below 0 decibels. And then the next sound sounds like this. Pretty basic as well. Distortion, that's it, just distortion and EQ. Next one, distortion and EQ. And I actually, for this one, I use this plugin by FL Studio, which is called Sterilize. But yeah, it has 3 presets called Sterilize, Sterilize 2, and Sterilize 3. I really suggest you guys checking them out. They really work. I mean, don't put it on everything though, because you don't want everything to be in the same spot, but it's a good starting point. This is another sound. It doesn't have anything except a low cut, and this is just adding some clickiness. I'm gonna explain real quick why I do layering and how I work with it. So let's say I start with this sound. Let's say you open a preset and it sounds like this. In order to actually do layering in a very effective way is knowing what you're lacking, what your sound is lacking, and finding something that will add to that thing that it's lacking. So this one sounds like this. I think it's very basic. It barely has any harmonics, barely has any mids, many mid highs, I mean, and it barely has any trebles, any treble. So I added this one. It has a ton of treble, but I still felt like it needed more mids, so I added this one. And I still felt like it needed something else, so I added this one. And I still felt like it needed something else, so I added this one. This one, it's very different in a way that it works, so it's a very different ADSR. And if you want to make good layering, a very good trick is adding everything. Changing everything into the same ADSR. ADSR means attack, decay, sustain, and release. They must be the same if you want them to sound like one sound, but you can sometimes break the rules like I did on this one, because it makes it feel a little bit more, it makes it flow a little bit better. And then I add another sound. So all of them sound like this. Every sound is as important as the other one. On the group, it's as important as the other one. On the group channel, I have a peak controller to control the reverb. Sounds like this. If I add the peak controller, reverb does not heat. The reverb's not gonna attack after a couple seconds, after a couple milliseconds. That way you can. That's how it looks. It just ducks. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen it before. What this does is basically just give space to the plugs and leads, and yeah, it's just it doesn't drown everything. And for the, I'm actually using G low and G high for my low passes and high passes. I think they're really cool free filters. They don't have any extra resonance or anything. They're just really clean, so I really like using them. I'm using also, for the group of the plugs, I'm using a Pro Q2, which has some boost on the highs, but only on the mid sides, on the sides. So it's not really boosting the actual frequencies, it's just making it bigger. It's like a stereo imager, but in a EQ. Yeah, and then I have a EQ just to get rid of more of the lows. I'm just Again, I did it again and added a little bit of frequencies. I don't know why I needed them. And then I got rid of the lows again. And then I opened a sausage fattener just to keep it below 0 decibels. I'm pretty crazy with that, so. Then I have other sounds. Yeah, this is a good one. This is how it sounds. This is how this one sounds. It's actually one of the more important ones. Without effects, it sounds like this. With effects, basically just has distortion, EQ, and a Magic Stereo Pro. And then I have this other one. Both of them make it sound very much more interesting. It sounds like this, both of them. They added a kind of it kind of made the leads sound alive because they kind of sound like a robot kind of thing, like a human, like someone burping or something like that. Like, it reminds me of a frog, and actually they're like, I'm pretty sure they're like cymatics. And like I've been saying, it's about getting out of, like, it's cool to have rules, but you should know when you should break them. And this is one example. I'm using different types of ADSR, and they still sound good together. This is how this sounds. It just added to the flow. So yeah, I think that's. And then for there's a part in the song that sounds like this. And that's a serum chord. Serum chords. Yeah. Sounds like this. And I'm actually manipulating the pitch here, so it sounds like. And I'm pretty sure I should have something else. Yeah, some cutoff here. And also the rate. And then on the second part of the drop, I don't know if you've heard it, it has this thing. There's also that sound behind everything else. So it's like it would be a mess, but I somehow made it work. I really wanted to make a kind of Don Diablo kind of style thing on this thing. I've always wanted to do a Don Diablo kind of style track with just chords, but I felt like I wasn't expressing myself as much, so I had to combine my shit with that kind of stuff, and this is how it sounded. Actually, this is how this part sounds. Nothing is following, like this thing is not following the same rhythm of the bass line or the leads, and it still sounds good. So get out of your comfort zone and try different things. But yeah, this is basically manipulating the pitch, and I'm changing the rate here, so it's making it faster, slower, super slow, normal, faster, blah 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 blah. It moves a lot. So I guess what did I do on this? What did I do on those sounds? What I did was just cut the lows, open it up, and keep it on 0 decibels. So I just clipped it. And then actually let's go to all the drums on the track. I'm using a kick layer that I have. I'm using this kick layer. Sounds like that. Sounds like that. It's 3 different sounds. It's just a low kick, mid kick, and top kick. All together. Sounds like this. What I do on the kick is add a vintage warmer to compress it. It doesn't want to open. Yeah, a vintage warmer with a preset, and boost a little bit of the highs and the lows, and made the ceiling 0, so it's actually a brick wall, so it keeps it at 0 decibels. And I also added a sausage fattener. At the time, I didn't know about G-Clip, so I was limiting all my sounds with just that. And then I have a clap that sounds like this. It's more like a snap kind of thing. And I'm just cutting the lows on that one. And then I have this one. I'm just making it a little bit wider, cutting the lows, and adding a G clip to keep it below 0 decibels. When you play it together, it sounds like this. They're pretty clean, they're pretty good. And now I added another kind of drop claps. Added drop claps, very low volume, cutting the lows, making them wider, just to add an extra in the drum loop. It makes it just wider, very wide. And then another clap, another drop clap, and then just get rid of the lows as well. That's how they sound. And then as effects, I added this. Let me make this like that. I've added this Bantana Tropical House. It's just a white noise going down. Just like that, pretty easy. Do I have anything else? Yeah, I have a crash. I don't know why I used to crash, but it worked. Yeah, this is pretty much everything behind. Actually, I have this sounds in the background as the drop is playing. So it's like, it follows the melody. Let me show you. I don't think this is even the same key, but it just helps because there's like the way I see this thing is whenever there's a pause, I try to use something to like pull the energy back. So there's a pause here. I don't know. I felt like there was. Yeah, boom, 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 boom. That's what I wanted to. I just wanted to keep the flow, the energy. Even though you might not really hear it in like very loud, but it's just there. What this is just a reversed chord. It just has no lows like everything else on my mix. I'm pretty traumatized with lows. I actually, one tip that I can give you guys, actually use the same white noise the whole track. People are not gonna notice that it's the same thing. You don't have to have a different one for each. Like let's say here on the build up, I'm using this thing, and all the drop I'm using this thing. It's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. But a lot of you, a lot of you mess up your mix downs by trying to have like 20 different types of sounds. But that's not how it works. The less, the better. It's gonna be easier for you to mix it. So I got rid of the lows, and yeah, one of the most important things on my mix downs is leveling. So you need to really level your sounds. You can EQ it, and that's gonna be good. But if it's not leveled correctly, it's not gonna make it up. It has to be the amount of volume needed. It has to have the amount of volume needed. I have this other extra sounds, cymbal transitions, and then I have a ride for the drop. It makes it wider. As soon as it hits, just wider, keeps it interesting. I also have another hit on the drop. Just that kind of sound, really weird one. I have this other part on the where the chords come. You barely hear it, but it's like a zipper kind of thing. Then for the drop, for the transition to drop, there's like this laser kind of sound. I like adding some random sounds. It just keeps it interesting. You can barely hear it, but it's there. Then I have some cymatics risers. More, and then I have sub drop. They're great for build-ups. You guys really need to use this. Another cymbal transitions, the same crash in the drop. A snare that I use the whole track before the drop, in the transition of the drop, inside the build-up, in the intro. And I have this before the drop. I have this jumps that sound like this. With the snare, it sounds like this. I made my own fill, let's say, and I also have this extra sounds. It's actually the kick but very small. And the clap. And part of the click, part of the kick, just to give some extra. I don't know, I felt like it sounded good. It's just a combination of different stuff, trying it out, and it sounds good. Before the drop, I actually have part of the bass line melody before it starts, and it really gives like an idea, like, I don't know, I really like how it sounds, but it's just part of the drop. It doesn't have a sub, and then the drop drops, and then there's sub. Yeah, a good trick to make the drop sound bigger is creating a master stereo separation automation. So the idea is to make everything almost mono before the drop. As soon as the drop hits, you will feel like the drop just explodes into like a super wide kind of thing, even though you're just kind of lying because you're making them feel very mono before the drop, and then as soon as the drop hits, it's super normal, but they felt the difference. Another good trick is a fruity balance on the master, and then just automate that a little bit, just like 3 decibels or something like that, but just a small change to make people feel like, oh, this is the drop, this is where it sounds interesting. Automations are a very important part in creating a very clean mixdown. All the transitions really are part of your mixdown as well, so I really use a lot of them. I use a lot of filters, a lot of let's say something I really like doing on all my tracks is adding some natural ambience, and I added this thunder because I kind of felt like the tracks sounded like pirates. So this sounds like a thunder in the water, I don't know. And I have this other extra sound that sounds like this. Just like that. Some extra sound. And it's just playing the keynote of the song. For the breakdown, I added the crashes just for transition purposes. Transitions, and then to give it rhythm, I'm using a ride. I'm actually using this for the let's listen to the breakdown before I even go into it. I really got out of my comfort zone with this one because I wanted to do something that would go against my rules. And I usually, whenever I'm making a song, if it's 1/16th, if I'm gonna be making a melody that's 1/16th, or 1/8 or 1/4 or whatever, I tend to stick to that pattern kind of thing. But on this one, I wanted to make a breakdown that sounded like 1/3, so like a pirate kind of thing, like that. And on the drop, fix the melody into the one that I had essentially. But this is where the sounds I'm using. I'm using a Benger, and then I'm using another one, and it's just two of them low cut, and it has an effect. For effects, it just has lows. Just add the lows cut, and I'm using another extra sound, another extra ambience. Very relaxing. Very relaxing. It's just there to, I don't know, just create extra ambience, extra space. The idea behind my ambiences, the ones that I use, is just to give an idea of what what to imagine ish. I feel like if you give them like a fireplace and then thunder and then rain, you might get an idea of how of where the idea of the song came from. I don't know, I'm fucking crazy. But which artist isn't crazy, really? I feel like we are all crazy. For this part, I added chords, very basic ones, just to help the melody. And then everything turned 116 again. But I still kept the melody 130. Just because I felt like it was cool. And if it sounds cool, who cares? A lot of people don't dig it, a lot of people don't like it, but if you like it, that's all it matters. Anything else is just extra. And I added the drop claps as well. Actually have a no, that's not the bass line. This is a bass line. Very basic one, and I'm using a filter to open it up as it moves over the chords. Then the melody. Oh, these are other chords. These are actually the drop chords. I tend to normally, the way I think about breakdowns is just a deconstructed drop. So that's why I started with the drop, and then it was easy to make the breakdown because I knew I wanted the drop again-ish, but just in a more basic, in a more simple way. So yeah, I also pitched it down, pitched it up. And it's pretty basic. It's pretty basic overall. For the intro, it's basically, literally, I don't even have to explain it because of how simple it is. It's basically the drums of the drop, the bass line, the bass line of the drop, and the melody of the intro. Literally, it's so easy to make, and like, you shouldn't break your head trying to make a good intro for your song, because this is literally just something to help other DJs play it. That's it. That's what it is. For this track, I basically just copy and pasted the second breakdown. I mean, the first breakdown and the first drop to the second breakdown. I really didn't do anything else. I think I just added this claps. I mean, this snaps for the second part of the breakdown. Oh no, I actually added extra melodies, extra chords. Sounds like this. It's just like an organ kind of sound, and it's just one octave higher than the one on the first breakdown, and that just makes it different. That's it, just that. This and the claps is just an extra thing to make it a little bit more interesting. So I suggest you guys find something like that, either a different kind of sound or something in an octave higher. And I'm actually using this sustained string that just gives tension. So yeah, I think this is pretty much it for the mix sound and everything. So for the master, I'm actually using a parametric EQ just to cut the lows, cut some of the lows, control the 20 Hz plus, boost it a little bit, 239, 406, 632. I don't know, just boosted some frequencies that I felt like they were needed, and then I cut the lows, so I basically made mono everything below 124.14, and then I use another Pro Q2 just to make it wider. And then I'm using a Pro L with a preset called House Transparent, but I had to move the attack and release a little bit just to make it fit in my track, and I put the gain up to 4 decibels. And I'm also using Fruity Balance, but that's just part of the that's just something creative. That's just for the build up kind of thing. Without my mastering, it actually almost is the same. It's almost the same thing. This is how it sounds without mastering. This is how the drop sounds without mastering. And with it, it basically, like everything that's just laying around like crazy, it's just basically putting everything in just one spot. Like it smushes everything, it compresses everything, and I like that. And it also makes it wider and stuff like that. I don't know. I feel like that's it for today. I'm gonna be making more videos of these. If you're not following me on my socials, make sure you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I don't even use Twitter, so don't follow me there. Twitter, whatever. Everything is Jay Eskar, just as is here. Jay Eskar, that's it. If you guys enjoy this track, make sure you support it, you play it, you add it to your playlist, whatever. If you enjoy this video, let me know. If you think I can improve on anything, also let me know. If you want me to, I don't know, create any, like some sort of video that you've been wanting to watch. Like, I don't know, I want to learn how to create good automation clips. I can do that for you guys. But just let me know your ideas in the comments, and I'll be seeing you guys on the next video. Also, I want to repeat again, this is a sponsored video from iMusic. Make sure you guys go visit the link in the description. These guys are awesome. So yeah, see you guys later on another video of Jay Eskar. Bye bye.